York City overnight.
Now, the news with Ben Kinney and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ben Kinney in for Gary this morning.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
A lot to get to, but first, it was a chilly start out there today. I'm looking at the temperatures, 29 in Old Forge, the overnight low.
Yes, I had to grab the old jacket this morning, and I had to bundle up a little bit.
Yeah.
First time in a while where I haven't used anything more than maybe a light jacket. This was a thicker one. I definitely recommend that for those of you heading out this morning. Let's take a look at those overnight lows. Yes, as Ben mentioned, below freezing up in the Adirondacks, frost possible, as well as some areas of patchy frosty fog. Believe it or not, there's some fog forming in some of those higher elevations up north. 31 in Woodgate, 35 in Coldbrook, into the 40s and 30s as you head south, where that cloud cover was still a little more persistent overnight. But following this dry stretch, we'll be seeing a return to more rain showers as we head throughout the daytime hours today. 38 in Rome, 37 in Hamilton, and a live look at the radar. Yes, that's pink. That gives the potential for some patchy freezing drizzle. However, there's no rain falling in the Adirondacks right now, so the potential isn't quite there just yet. But out to the west, we're seeing those rain showers slowly starting to arrive from lake effect, influenced by a trough arriving here in central New York. And today we'll be seeing a mix of sun, clouds, and spotty rain showers. Similar to yesterday, a mixed bag of weather. And this continues as we head into tonight and into tomorrow. So expect cooler temperatures to linger around. We'll talk about that, plus the latest updates on Milton, the latest track and intensity straight ahead. Ben?
Eric, thank you very much. Don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast. It's never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, preparations are underway as another hurricane pushes toward the Florida coast. Millions across the state on alert this morning as Hurricane Milton forecast to hit the western coast of the state by as early as today. The storm expected to bring a potential life-threatening storm surge, damaging winds, and torrential rain to the Sunshine State. Milton will be the third hurricane to make landfall in Florida this season, following Debbie in August and Helene in September in the Big Bend area of Florida. Hundreds of ambulances have been working around the clock, evacuating people from hospitals ahead of the storm.
ALFs and nursing homes have certainly heeded the warnings that have been put out. And we are in the middle of there's 500 to 600 ambulances that are in active evacuation right now of medical facilities in the greater Tampa Bay region. We have requested even more rescue and ambulance units from FEMA. They have them staged in the southeast United States, probably in the Atlantic.
Shelves are bare at many stores in western Florida as residents prepared to hunker down or get out of town. Meanwhile, the cleanup continues from the last disaster. U.S. troops are on the ground providing aid to people hard hit by Hurricane Helene. Members of the 82nd Airborne Division, 101st Airborne Division, 20th Engineer Brigade, and others were deployed to North Carolina and Georgia last week to help the thousands that were still without running water nearly a week after that hurricane tore through. The storm's intense flooding ravaged western North Carolina, destroying pipelines, crippling water treatment plants, causing widespread power outages. Continuing coverage.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. The time now is 5:11. We're getting you set to head out the door this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. And first off, let's take a look up into the North Country this morning. Still starting out in the 30s, some spots below freezing. So some of you waking up in the Old Forge Inlet area, northern Herkimer County, potential for some early morning frost. No frost in the Mohawk Valley, especially in downtown Utica, sitting at 42 degrees. 39 in Cooperstown, so a crisp but non-frosty start to the day. And lastly, in Oneonta, 41 degrees with overall quiet conditions. That will change as we head throughout the day today. No incidents to report of on the traffic tracker, but as we get to in just a second, we'll be talking about the potential for lane closures in New Hartford, especially the intersection of Campion Road, Oxford Road, and Genesee Street overnight between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. between today and Thursday, weather permitting. Well, of course, I have more information on that in just a second. But again, today, a spotty shower. Temperatures in the 40s, warming up only in the 50s by this afternoon. Still a chance of a spotty shower here and there. Again, we'll talk about the latest trends of Milton as well as what we can expect here locally heading into the rest of the week straight ahead. Ben?
Eric, thank you very much. And as Eric mentioned, starting today, a traffic alert in the village of New Hartford.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. We are starting out quiet early today with some showers on the horizon that will create unsettled conditions for most of this afternoon. A live look at downtown Utica right now. A non-frosty start to the day, but some locations are waking up to some patchy frost. It's a comfortable, in fact, refreshing 38 degrees. I would say almost crisp 38 degrees with a dew point of 38. That's the first time in quite a while we've seen the humidity that low in our area. And the radar itself is looking completely dry, aside from some spotty lake effect showers out west, which are expected to arrive here throughout the day today. So keep that umbrella handy if you're heading out to work early this morning, along with that jacket. Current local temperatures, we are at freezing in Otter Lake. Near freezing in Inlet, Long Lake, and Lake Pleasant. Heading into the Mohawk Valley, a little warmer into the 40s, but heading south, some spots in the 30s, 39 in Oneonta and in Cooperstown. Regarding rainfall, although it's not all day long rainfall, there's still going to be a almost certain chance for on and off showers today and Wednesday. Thursday, some lingering lake effect. Some high-resolution models indicating we're drying out, others indicating still some persistent light drizzle. So for now, a low chance for rain. But regardless, we'll be dry as we head into Friday. So what's the latest on Milton? It's now a Category 4, so it did decrease in intensity, but it's doing what's called an eye wall replacement. That usually takes place in stronger storms. This will eventually turn right back into a Category 5 hurricane, and then weaken slightly as it makes its landfall along the coast of Florida as a Category 4 or Category 3 hurricane with over 125-mile-per-hour winds. So this is still going to be a pretty significant one, and the models are leading a lot closer to making landfall in the Tampa area. So again, this is getting more and more certain as to the landfall potential of this system. This hurricane is just mind-boggling, the absolute strength. It's nearing the mathematical limits of how strong a hurricane can get. Bigger picture, here locally, a few troughs moving through our area, firing up a few lake effect showers. Following Wednesday into Thursday, we could see some conditions dry out a little bit, but I want to take a closer look at our skycast here because something I noticed here, especially as we head into Thursday. Today, though, a mix of sun, clouds, and spotty showers, mixed bag of weather. By tonight, same story, still some persistent lake effect in the Mohawk Valley. Wednesday morning, dry start, then here comes the rainfall yet again. However, as we head into Wednesday night, watch the North Country up here. Lows will fall down into the 30s. There's potential for some high elevation flurries up in Hamilton County heading towards the high peak. So it's a season. Highest elevations could see some flurries, but the rest of us just some regular old rain showers. And so 7-day forecast, rain showers, cloudy for Wednesday. We dry out a little bit on Thursday. Sunshine for Friday, but we're going to be cutting it close for rain chances heading into the weekend with temperatures in the 60s and 50s. Overnight lows not too bad, but frost potential, especially as we head into the end of the work week. We'll keep an eye on that in our next half hour for Friday.
That's good because my allergies are kind of bothering me today, so that frost usually will knock out whatever's causing that.
That temperature change is not helping?
No, loving it right now. Thank you very much, Eric. The time now 5:20, still ahead this morning.
Where the news comes first. You're the news with Ben Kinney and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Ben Kinney, in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Derek Gage.
Just noticed that nice little fog bank. I kind of drove through it. It was a little thin fog bank as you drive on the arterial right between State Street and the on-ramp from Oriskany, right in downtown.
Very, very thin band,
Yeah.
you know, visibility reduced for only maybe, I would say 5 seconds, and then back to clear skies again. So one of those unique parts of the Mohawk Valley. This morning, most of us waking up to a somewhat chilly start. Temperatures are in the 30s and in some spots 20s. The overnight low in Old Forge sitting at 29 degrees. 31 in Woodgate, now down to roughly 30, as I'll be slowly updating these temperatures throughout the morning. But for most of us, we're in the upper 30s, low 40s. But regardless of those numbers, it's still a rather crisp start to the day today. It's dry as well, 30s in Rome and Hamilton. And as you take a look at the radar, well, it's not going to be dry for long. Here comes an arrival of some lake effect rain. This rain is actually producing some heavier downpours along this band near Oswego, so expect some significant rainfall mixed in with clear skies and clouds today. Mixed bag of weather with temperatures climbing as high as the upper 50s. Another cool one in store for central New York today. We'll still continue to see this trend heading into Wednesday, but how long will it last? Plus, will we have a good shot of seeing frost for more than just the higher elevations by the end of the work week? We'll talk about those chances, plus the latest on Milton straight ahead. Ben?
Eric, thank you. Don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast. It's never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, as Florida residents brace for Hurricane Milton, the White House is ramping up the federal response and urging people to heed the advice of local officials. The Category 5 hurricane barreling toward the Gulf Coast of Florida in the wake of the catastrophic damage caused by Hurricane Helene, compounding the danger and putting a spotlight on FEMA as its response has become a political flashpoint. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest on this developing story.
Fears are growing in Florida as quickly as the monstrous Hurricane Milton now barreling toward the state's west coast.
My heart breaks for this entire city, and just to have this kind of a storm come through is just unheard of.
The storm's expected to make landfall late tomorrow around the Tampa Bay area. In counties down the Florida peninsula, thousands are heeding mandatory evacuation orders.
If you remain there, you could die. My men and women could die trying to rescue you.
President Biden approving an emergency declaration, the federal government promising it's ready to respond with more than 900 federal workers on the ground in Florida.
We have search and rescue teams. The Army Corps of Engineers are there. We are ready. We have the personnel. We can respond to multiple events at a single time.
That ability will be put to the test with massive storm recovery efforts underway from Hurricane Helene. Among the most pressing priorities, clearing piles of debris that could become flying and floating hazards.
It's terrifying to think what this next storm with the wind and the rain will actually do to all of that debris.
Many dealing with the devastation from Hurricane Helene feel they haven't gotten enough support.
Have you seen anyone from FEMA?
No.
State and federal officials now battling misinformation, promising help is here as they brace for the next blow. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
$14,000 worth of
Download the Storm Tracker 2 app. Free to install. Use the icons on the bottom to navigate between tabs. Get instant weather updates and alerts right on your phone. Storm Tracker 2, where we track storms.
The Storm Tracker 2 team, where we track storms.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. We'll take a look at our photo of the day today, and this one takes us to Rome. And not showing any foliage, but how about this? Look at this Northern Lights picture taken last night by Jay. Didn't get the full first name, but just breathtaking. You can see multiple colors, pillars going from green to pink to blue to turquoise. This is just a breathtaking shot here. Ben's mouth is wide open off camera right now. Yeah, this is a great photo right here. We've had two phenomenal photos within the past few days of the Northern Lights. And again, we mentioned last week there was a solar storm arriving. It's one of the most difficult things to predict. Again, it's like finding a needle in the haystack. It's like taking a surge of energy from the sun and then launching it 93 million miles and hope it lands on a pin. That's basically how it is in space right now. So again, there's still some energy in the atmosphere. You could see it maybe early this morning, but I think most of that intensity peaked last night. Well, the radar this morning, a little busy. We got a few spotty showers outside of our local area at this point. Matter of fact, it's just along the border of Syracuse heading into Oneida County. So we'll keep an eye on the radar, and again, we'll talk about what we can expect frost-wise and rainfall-wise for the next few days straight ahead. Ben?
Eric, thank you. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis actually had a really good picture as well on his Facebook page.
Yeah, I saw this morning. It was amazing, yeah.
He chases them. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. All right, thank you very much, Eric. Get the blankets and sweaters ready. Your
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. It's a crisp start to the day today. You might want to grab that jacket heading out the door early this morning. Downtown Utica, it's a quiet start. However, we are still looking at some fog slowly starting to move in. We mentioned at the top of the hour, or at least top of the half hour, that there was a thin layer of fog heading almost directly to the north of Route 5S, but now we're starting to see it push south into downtown Utica at this point. Current temperature sitting at 38 crisp degrees early today. It's feeling like a typical October morning early in central New York. And the radar, it's dry for now, but those rain showers bordering Oneida and I would say Oswego and Onondaga counties early today. And this rainfall is expected to slowly inch eastward into central New York. A lot of the North Country waking up to temperatures near or at freezing. So it's a frosty start for some spots. Heading into the valley, it's still slightly warmer, so no frost is expected in the lowest elevations. To the south, still a little cool. Temperatures hovering in the upper 30s to low 40s. Regarding rainfall, today and tomorrow, although not a steady, consistent rain, there will be a likely, almost certain chance for rain here and there between today and tomorrow. Lingering light lake effect drizzle possible Thursday. It's likely to dry up throughout the afternoon and evening, and we're dry on Friday. But as you talk about frost potential, following today, it's really unlikely Wednesday into Thursday, but early Friday morning is when we could see our first frost of the season for some locations, especially heading into the Mohawk Valley. It all depends on the way the cloud cover behaves. Right now, there's potential for that to fall to near freezing, but if the clouds remain persistent, no frost is expected. The main story across pretty much nationally and worldwide is Hurricane Milton. Reached Category 5, nearing historic levels of intensity in the timeline it took to get intense to a Category 5. It's almost reaching the limits of mathematical strength, around 180 to 200 miles per hour, usually as strong as hurricanes can get in the Atlantic or Gulf. Now, it's doing what's called an eye wall replacement, so it's going to weaken a little bit, then strengthen back into a Category 5, then make landfall along the Tampa area of Florida as a Category 4 or 3 with over 125 mile per hour winds. So it's still going to see some significant strength as it continues to make landfall later on Wednesday. Quickly on our Skycast today, a few spotty lake effect showers mixed in with sun and clouds. By tonight, same story, persistent lake effect continuing through parts of the Mohawk Valley. Wednesday, same story, mix of sun, clouds, and rain showers. Take a look at Wednesday night into Thursday. Highest elevations in the North Country could see some flurries, high peaks areas. So we're starting to enter the season. But by the next few days, we'll see temperatures slowly climb back into the upper 50s, low 60s by Friday and Saturday, with rain chances arriving overnight Friday into Saturday, and then later on by Sunday and into Monday. But again, we'll keep an eye on the overnight low Friday morning.
Wow.
That fog really, I looked at that too at the same time you did.
Wow.
That fog really got thick.
Holy cow. That got thick fast.
Blew in from the Mohawk River.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much, Eric. Well, with the election now 4 weeks away, Vice President Harris is shifting her media strategy into overdrive and facing tough questions about her economic policy, while the White House is criticizing former President Trump for new comments.
News with Ben Kinney and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ben Kinney, in for Gary this morning.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And as you can see behind us, you can't.
Yes, fog has rolled in this morning from the Mohawk River into downtown Utica. If we take a look outside right now, we can see that the visibility has reduced slightly, and maybe slightly is a bit of a, not too of a suiting word, right? Yeah. I would say a little more dense. You can't see downtown Utica, point being, right now anymore. But yes, this was initially an isolated band of fog, which is now spread into more of the lower elevations. Now, on top of fog, it's a very cool start to the day today. If you're heading out the door this morning, definitely bundle up. We got temperatures in the 30s, Coldbrook 33, Woodgate and Old Forge below freezing this morning, so those locations waking up to potentially some frost. Around the state, same story. Current temperatures are sitting in the 30s, and the radar itself starting to see those rain showers move their way slowly into Oneida County. In fact, look at this. We got some rumbles of thunder reported off the shores of Lake Ontario near Oswego. So these are some, I would say, slightly stronger rainfall bands, but it's pretty shocking considering it's in the 30s right now. I see some thunder showers. Next 12 hours, temperatures climbing up into the upper 50s. So it's going to be another cool and breezy day with a mix of sun, clouds, and rain showers. And we'll talk about how long this unsettled stretch lasts, plus frost potential heading into the Mohawk Valley later on in the week in that forecast straight ahead. Ben?
Eric, thank you very much. Don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, preparations are underway as another hurricane pushes towards the Florida coast. Millions across the state are on alert as Hurricane Milton is forecast to hit the western coast by today. The storm is expected to bring a potential life-threatening storm surge, damaging winds, and torrential rain to the state. Milton will be the third hurricane to make landfall in Florida this season, following Debbie in August and Helene last month in the Big Bend of Florida. Hundreds of ambulances have been working around the clock, evacuating people from hospitals ahead of the storm.
ALFs and nursing homes have certainly heeded the warnings that have been put out, and we are in the middle of there's 500 to 600 ambulances that are in active evacuation right now of medical facilities in the greater Tampa Bay region. We have requested even more rescue and ambulance units from FEMA. They have them staged in the southeast United States, probably in the Atlantic.
Take a look at this. Shelves are bare at many stores in western Florida. Residents prepared to hunker down or get out of town. Meanwhile, the cleanup continues from the last disaster. U.S. troops on the ground providing aid to people hit hard by Hurricane Helene. Members of the 82nd Airborne Division, 101st Airborne, and the 20th Engineer Brigade and others deployed to North Carolina and Georgia last week to help the thousands that were still without running water nearly a week after Hurricane Helene tore through much of the southeast. The storm's intense flooding ravaged western North Carolina, destroying pipelines, crippling water treatment plants, and causing widespread power outages. Here at home, Governor Hochul has extended the deadline for Oneida County homeowners to apply for emergency repair grants.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. The time now is 6:10. Well, now just turning 6:11. We're getting set to head over this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. And first off, Old Forge, temperatures in the 30s, some spots below freezing. Overnight low in locations in the Mesna area reported 29 degrees. Downtown Utica, fog has started to roll in, temperature sitting at 41. Heading into Cooperstown, some patchy fog out in the distance, 38, and in Oneonta, 39, 1 degree warmer with some clear skies out in the distance. Those temperatures will still free fall a little bit longer. Look at the traffic tracker early today. Looks to be just a stalled vehicle on the side of the road as you head down I-90, but our main focus is going to be New Hartford, especially the intersection to Campion Road and Genesee Street as you head down to Oxford Road right here. There's going to be paving done during the overnight hours, weather permitting, of course, and we'll, of course, Ben will talk about that in a lot more detail coming up in just a minute. But again, today, temperatures starting out in the 30s and 40s, sporadic lake effect showers mixed in with sun and clouds, so a mixed bag of weather similar to yesterday, and this afternoon, same thing, similar to yesterday, sporadic showers mixed in with sun and clouds. Ben?
Eric, thank you very much. And as Eric mentioned, a traffic alert to tell you about starting today in the village of New Hartford.
There's spoil your day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. We are tracking a foggy start in downtown Utica early today as a fog layer over the Mohawk River has since extended slightly southward. Here's a live look in downtown Utica right now. Again, quite foggy out there early today, but for other spots, not too bad of a start, at least regarding visibility, but it's a crisp one out there. Definitely recommend grabbing that jacket heading out the door early today. Temperature of 38 in the Rome area as of this point. Radar is mainly dry, but we're tracking the arrival of a few lake effect showers and heavier downpours from the west as it slowly inches its way through central New York throughout the next 12 to 18 hours before we'll still see some unsettled conditions lingering through tomorrow. But this morning, it's a frosty start for some locations in the Adirondacks, below freezing in Otter Lake. Other locations still in the 30s. Mohawk Valley is frost-free today. Southern Valley's temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. Regarding rainfall, we got some scattered showers today and for tomorrow. Thursday, lingering light lake effect drizzle coming to an end, so not nearly as impactful, but by Friday we dry out entirely. And when it comes to frost potential, next few days I think there's still plenty of cloud cover and rain where I think that frost is unlikely. But as we head into Friday with the dry conditions in place, clear skies, potentially clear skies, that's the key. We could see some frost form here locally. But back to the big weather story making national and international news. Hurricane Milton, wind speeds 155, it peaked at 180 miles per hour. The center pressure went into the 800s, making it one of the strongest hurricanes, at least regarding central pressure on record. This is, or at least did approach the near limits of mathematical strength regarding hurricanes, around 180 to 200 miles per hour, usually as strong as hurricanes can get in the atmosphere. But regardless, it's going to weaken a little bit as it moves north, encounters some more shear, but still is a category 4 or 3, making landfall more consistently along that Tampa Bay area. Somewhere in that zone is the most likely location for landfall. But here locally, again, as of now, there's no impacts from the system. It's still too far out to see if it will hook north or hook south. But for now, we'll keep an eye on Milton. But for the most part here today, a few spotty lake effect showers moving through our area and just overall unsettled conditions. Our Skycast showing those rain showers moving through our area today and into tonight. And then by tomorrow, same story. Lake effect rain, a bit more persistent tomorrow compared to today, but still some opportunity for some peaks of sun here and there. But watch tomorrow night. Overnight lows in the higher elevations fall into the 30s. Potential for some flurries in the hilltops or mountaintops of the Adirondacks. So again, we are starting to enter that season with those cooler temperatures and the four-letter forbidden word of snow. Your 7-day forecast. We've got 50s the next few days, cooler temperatures, overnight lows falling into the 30s again. We'll keep an eye on Thursday night into Friday. That's our best shot for frost here in the Mohawk Valley. Then following that, warming up slightly into the weekend.
No, I don't like that word. I don't like that word.
You don't like cold too? Four-letter words that happen in winter. Not a big fan of them, right?
No, well, no. Cold leads to ice. Like ice, because I play hockey, so...
That's a three-letter word.
I know that. I know that. Now. No, I'm kidding. I knew that beforehand. All right. Thank you very much, Eric. 24.
Now, the news with Ben Kinney and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning once again. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Ben Kinney in for Gary this morning.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
If you were with us at the top of the hour, you couldn't see much of downtown Utica. You couldn't see the DoubleTree behind us, the Hotel Utica, or even across the street to the courthouse.
Yes, and now we're starting to see some of that fog clear early this morning. It's an isolated band of fog, not completely widespread, but what is widespread is it's chilly out.
Yeah, it is.
I would say very chilly. Out there this morning, first take a live look outside on our Nexus camera. You can see in more detail that that fog layer is starting to lift a little bit. More visibility along the Risking Boulevard right now compared to, I would say, about a half hour or so ago. Temperatures bottoming out overnight in the 20s and 30s in the North Country. 29 Old Forge, 30 in Woodgate. The rest of central New York in the upper 30s, low 40s. Regardless, it's a cool start to your day today. 30s for much of central New York currently, and we are tracking some rain showers. Currently slowly inching their way eastward into central New York right now. There's some rumbles of thunder reported along the coast of Oswego County as well as the center of Lake Ontario at this point. But as the system encounters our area, mainly just rain being the primary risk with that. But we'll still see a few spotty lake effect showers early today, a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon with high temperatures struggling to reach the upper 50s. It'll be a cool day today. And on top of that, potential for frost later on this week and the latest updates with Milton coming up in that full forecast. Ben?
Eric, thank you very much. Don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast. It's never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, as Florida residents brace for Hurricane Milton, the White House is ramping up the federal response and urging people to heed the advice of local officials. The Category 5 hurricane now barreling toward the Gulf Coast of Florida in the wake of the catastrophic damage caused by Hurricane Helene, compounding the danger and putting a spotlight on FEMA as its response has become a political flashpoint. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest on this developing story.
Fears are growing in Florida as quickly as the monstrous Hurricane Milton now barreling toward the state's west coast.
My heart breaks for this entire city. And just to have this kind of a storm come through is just unheard of.
The storm's expected to make landfall late tomorrow around the Tampa Bay area. In counties down the Florida peninsula, thousands are heeding mandatory evacuation orders.
If you remain there, you could die. My men and women could die trying to rescue you.
President Biden approving an emergency declaration, the federal government promising it's ready to respond with more than 900 federal workers on the ground in Florida.
We have search and rescue teams. The Army Corps of Engineers are there. We are ready. We have the personnel. We can respond to multiple events at a single time.
That ability will be put to the test with massive storm recovery efforts underway from Hurricane Helene. Among the most pressing priorities, clearing piles of debris that could become flying and floating hazards.
It's terrifying to think what this next storm with the wind and the rain will actually do to all of that debris.
Many dealing with the devastation from Hurricane Helene feel they haven't gotten enough support.
Have you seen anyone from FEMA?
No.
State and federal officials now battling misinformation, promising help is here as they brace for the next blow. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
$14,000 worth of copper.
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery in Delhi.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday. Yesterday we showed a photo of lightning, thunderstorms, and the aurora in the background. Well, how about this for an aurora photo? Ben, in the last hour, his mouth was open watching this photo here. Look at this photo. This is almost a complete rainbow of colors taken in Rome, of greens, pinks, blues, turquoise, some purples in there, of the Northern Lights, taken by Jay. I didn't get the first name of it, but again, regardless, huge props for this amazing photo right here. Yes, Northern Lights have moved through our area from a solar storm. We mentioned last week that it could arrive here and there over the next few days, and sure enough, it arrives a little late to the party, but again, it's one of those difficult sciences. It's one of the hardest things to predict, predicting a solar storm directly hitting the Earth 93 million miles away from the sun. But regardless, here locally, weather-wise, the temperatures are in the 30s, a crisp start with some lake effect rain out to the west. We'll keep an eye on how far west or far east that spreads into our area, plus the potential for frost later on this week. Straight ahead. Ben?
Eric, thank you very much. Get the blankets and the sweaters ready.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. As quick as the fog showed up in downtown Utica, it has since departed. We're taking a look at a gorgeous sunrise right now. A later sunrise. Unfortunately, though, it's a little darker in the mornings, but downtown Utica, you can see right here, a pretty quiet start to the day today. It's a cool one, though. We're talking about temperatures in the 30s, 38 degrees in Rome, and even still in the 30s in downtown Utica. It's definitely heading out the door this morning. Recommend bundling up with a decent jacket. The radar itself, quiet for now in the Utica area and east, but heading out to Rome, that's where some more lake effect rain showers are slowly starting to move eastward into our area. So as I mentioned, a mix of sun, clouds, and rain today, similar to yesterday. And those temperatures early today, below freezing for some locations in the North Country, still above freezing in the valley, so a frosty start in some spots early today. Our Skywatcher Sean in Inlet reporting frost on his windshield, 30s and 40s in the southern valleys. Today and for tomorrow, a likely chance for rain. Thursday, lingering spotty lake effect drizzle, less of a chance for rain there, and then we're dry as we head into Friday. But regarding frost chance, unlikely today through Thursday, at least following today into Wednesday and Thursday, but Friday morning, most of us could likely see some frost, depending on that cloud cover. That plays a key role. Overnight lows will fall into the 30s after a cool Thursday afternoon, so we'll keep a close eye on that. The latest trends with Hurricane Milton sitting at 155 miles per hour, moving to east-northeast at 12 miles per hour. It's weakened into a Category 4, but that's expected. A strong hurricane does what's called an eye wall replacement. A smaller eye wall begins to take shape into a much bigger one to sustain the winds, and this will likely go right back up to a Category 5 and then eventually go back into a Category 4 or 3, making landfall near the Tampa Bay area. I still think that it's expected to weaken, but I still think it might still stay as a Category 4 when it makes landfall. It's very difficult for a storm that has been setting records or near records with strength that is still taking shape over the Gulf Coast. Bigger picture, low pressure, bringing in some scattered lake effect rain showers today and tomorrow. We can see it in our Skycast right here. On and off rain mixed in with clouds and sunshine. Then as we head into Wednesday night into Thursday, this is what we could be seeing. Rain showers initially, then keep a close eye in the North Country. Potential for flurries in the highest elevations. Temperatures will fall in the 30s, and with the unsettled conditions over us, potential for that in the highest elevations and the high peaks. Following Thursday's cooler temperatures, highs only in the low 50s. We'll see some more sunshine Friday, back into the 60s, but that overnight low of 37, cutting it close for frost in the Mohawk Valley. But we're back into the 60s by Saturday, upper 50s by Sunday. But the changing seasons here.
Yeah, definitely.
Potential for snow in the highest elevations on Thursday night.
How lovely.
Looking pretty crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Eric. The time now 6:52, still ahead on Sunrise and Emergency.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, Central New York. We are tracking the arrival of a few scattered showers from lake effect today, and a mix of sun and clouds as well. So a mixed bag of weather similar to yesterday. Bigger picture radar and satellite, we can see the system in play here right now. You can see those showers moving in from the west, bringing in, again, scattered showers to our area today. With the rainfall potential over the next few days, it's likely today, same thing for tomorrow. Additional lingering spotty, drizzly showers Thursday coming to an end throughout the morning and afternoon. And we're dry as we head into Friday. Regarding frost potential, though, besides today where the frost is isolated to the highest elevations north of the Mohawk Valley, tomorrow and Thursday, frost potential not quite there. But heading into early Friday morning, that's our next good shot for frost, as we'll be seeing skies clear out and temperatures falling down to the 30s in some locations. So again, it all depends on that cloud cover heading into the early part of Friday. The main story garnering national, international news is Hurricane Milton, sitting at 155 miles per hour at a Category 4. It underwent what's called eye wall replacement. It happens a lot of stronger storms. That smaller eye wall is being dissolved and forming into a larger one. In the process, it reduced to a Category 4 status, but it's expected to climb right back up to Category 5 once more and eventually make landfall in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. A lot more model consensus confirming this is the most likely path of impact to the west coast of Florida. Still sitting at over 125 mile per hour winds on landfall, and it's expected to weaken to a Category 3, but in my opinion, this is a strong hurricane. This is a hurricane that's nearing the mathematical limits of how strong one can get in the atmosphere. So it might be very difficult to go to a Category 3. My gut instinct says Category 4 on landfall heading into the early morning hours Thursday. This is 2 a.m. It'll be an overnight issue for the West Coast. But to the bigger picture here locally, we got a few troughs moving through our area. Again, these are firing up lake effect rain showers both today as well as on Wednesday. But I want to keep a close eye on Wednesday night because in some spots you could be seeing some snow. So on our Skycast right here, again, spotty lake effect showers today mixed in with sun and clouds. Pretty much Mother Nature not quite making up her mind. By early Wednesday morning, dry start before more showers begin to arrive by the afternoon. And then as we head into Wednesday night, keep a close eye in the North Country right here. Look at this. Lows fall down into the 30s. And with the rain showers falling, it could likely turn into some areas of flurries. So those of you in the highest elevations north in the North Country, again, potential for some flurries. But I still think it remains primarily to mountaintops for now, but we'll see how it trends as we head into the next few days. But for the most part, Thursday, coolest day of the next few. Definitely a flannel type day. Lows for Thursday night falling down into the 30s. Some spots could see some frost. 60s on Friday. We dry out once more. Still in the 60s by Saturday. Overall, pretty cool temperatures continuing as we head into the rest of the weekend, into the start of next week. As fall continues on, we're now entering the second and third weeks of October.
This is Jerry.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, Central New York. We are tracking the arrival of a few scattered showers from lake effect today and a mix of sun and clouds as well. So a mixed bag of weather similar to yesterday. Bigger picture radar and satellite. We can see the system in play here right now. You can see those showers moving in from the west, bringing in, again, scattered showers to our area today. With the rainfall potential over the next few days, it's likely today, same thing for tomorrow. Additional lingering spotty, drizzly showers Thursday coming to an end throughout the morning and afternoon. And we're dry as we head into Friday. Regarding frost potential, though, besides today where the frost is isolated to the highest elevations north of the Mohawk Valley, tomorrow and Thursday, frost potential not quite there. But heading into early Friday morning, that's our next good shot for frost, as we'll be seeing skies clear out and temperatures falling down to the 30s in some locations. So again, it all depends on that cloud cover heading into the early part of Friday. The main story garnering national, international news is Hurricane Milton sitting at 155 miles per hour at a Category 4. It underwent what's called eye wall replacement. Happens a lot of stronger storms. That smaller eye wall is being dissolved and forming into a larger one. In the process, it reduced to a Category 4 status, but it's expected to climb right back up to Category 5 once more and eventually make landfall in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. A lot more model consensus confirming this is the most likely path of impact to the west coast of Florida. Still sitting at over 125 mile per hour winds on landfall, and it's expected to weaken to a Category 3, but in my opinion, this is a strong hurricane. This is a hurricane that's nearing the mathematical limits of how strong one can get in the atmosphere. So it might be very difficult to go to a Category 3. My gut instinct says Category 4 on landfall heading into the early morning hours Thursday. This is 2 a.m. That'll be an overnight issue for the West Coast. But to the bigger picture here locally, we got a few troughs moving through our area. Again, these are firing up lake effect rain showers both today as well as on Wednesday. But I want to keep a close eye on Wednesday night because in some spots you could be seeing some snow. So on our Skycast right here, again, spotty lake effect showers today mixed in with sun and clouds. Pretty much Mother Nature not quite making up her mind. By early Wednesday morning, dry start before more showers begin to arrive by the afternoon. And then as we head into Wednesday night, keep a close eye in the North Country right here. Look at this. Lows fall down into the 30s. And with the rain showers falling, it could likely turn into some areas of flurries. So those of you in the highest elevations north in the North Country, again, potential for some flurries. But I still think it remains primarily to mountaintops for now, but we'll see how it trends as we head into the next few days. But for the most part, Thursday, coolest day of the next few. Definitely a flannel type day. Lows for Thursday night falling down into the 30s. Some spots could see some frost. 60s on Friday. We dry out once more. Still in the 60s by Saturday. Overall, pretty cool temperatures continuing as we head into the rest of the weekend, into the start of next week. As fall continues on, we're now entering the second and third weeks of October.
severe.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, Central New York. We are tracking the arrival of a few scattered showers from lake effect today and a mix of sun and clouds as well. So a mixed bag of weather similar to yesterday. Bigger picture radar and satellite. We can see the system in play here right now. You can see those showers moving in from the west, bringing in, again, scattered showers to our area today. With the rainfall potential for the next few days, it's likely today, same thing for tomorrow. Additional lingering spotty, drizzly showers Thursday coming to an end throughout the morning and afternoon. And we're dry as we head into Friday. Regarding frost potential, though, besides today where the frost is isolated to the highest elevations north of the Mohawk Valley, tomorrow and Thursday, frost potential not quite there. But heading into early Friday morning, that's our next good shot for frost, as we'll be seeing skies clear out and temperatures falling down to the 30s in some locations. So again, it all depends on that cloud cover heading into the early part of Friday. The main story garnering national, international news is Hurricane Milton sitting at 155 miles per hour at a Category 4. It underwent what's called eye wall replacement. It happens in a lot of stronger storms. That smaller eye wall is being dissolved and forming into a larger one. In the process, it reduced to a Category 4 status, but it's expected to climb right back up to Category 5 once more and eventually make landfall in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. A lot more model consensus confirming this is the most likely path of impact to the west coast of Florida. Still sitting at over 125 mile per hour winds on landfall. And it's expected to weaken to a Category 3, but in my opinion, this is a strong hurricane. This is a hurricane that's nearing the mathematical limits of how strong one can get in the atmosphere. So it might be very difficult to go to a Category 3. My gut instinct says Category 4 on landfall heading into the early morning hours Thursday. This is 2 a.m. It'll be an overnight issue for the West Coast. But to the bigger picture here locally, we got a few troughs moving through our area. Again, these are firing up lake effect rain showers both today as well as on Wednesday. But I want to keep a close eye on Wednesday night because in some spots you could be seeing some snow. So on our Skycast right here, again, spotty lake effect showers today mixed in with sun and clouds. Pretty much Mother Nature not quite making up her mind. By early Wednesday morning, dry start before more showers begin to arrive by the afternoon. And then as we head into Wednesday night, keep a close eye in the North Country right here. Look at this. Lows fall down into the 30s. And with the rain showers falling, it could likely turn into some areas of flurries. So those of you in the highest elevations north in the North Country, again, potential for some flurries. But I still think it remains primarily to mountaintops for now, but we'll see how it trends as we head into the next few days. But for the most part, Thursday, coolest day of the next few. Definitely a flannel type day. Lows for Thursday night falling down into the 30s. Some spots could see some frost. 60s on Friday. We dry out once more. Still in the 60s by Saturday. Overall, pretty cool temperatures continuing as we head into the rest of the weekend, into the start of next week. As fall continues on, we're now entering the second and third weeks of October.
not enough news with Steve McMurray.
And good afternoon, everybody. I am Steve McMurray. Gary is off this noontime. We thank you for joining us. With the threat of back-to-back hurricanes looming in parts of Florida, crews are scrambling to haul away Hurricane Helene's debris before Milton makes landfall. Here's NBC's Jesse Kirsch with the latest from Sarasota.
Less than 2 weeks ago, you could see Hurricane Helene brought the water level on this home to around my waist height. But with this new storm, Milton, we're potentially going to see twice as high of a storm surge. And that is something that is concerning on top of all of this debris from the last storm that is still out in communities all over Florida's Gulf Coast. And what we're looking at is the possibility that this debris could be picked up in the air by those powerful wind gusts. It also could become essentially a battering ram in storm surge, which again could be twice as high in areas like where I am in Sarasota. So all of that debris pickup that we're seeing is going on 24/7, the governor says. The state saying that hundreds of truckloads have already been picked up, and this is something that is continuing. But even with the pickups, you can see there's still a good amount of debris out in these communities. Another challenge on top of everything that we typically see ahead of a major hurricane, which is going on right now. Calls for evacuations, people stocking up on items like food, sandbag distribution, people boarding up homes and businesses, all of this as this area is bracing for another major hurricane, the second in less than 2 weeks. Back to you.
All right, that's NBC's Jesse Kirsch reporting. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us right now. And yesterday at this time, the storm had been upgraded to a Category 5. Where are we now?
Category 4, it's weakened a little bit. It's doing what's called an eye wall replacement. So the storm was moving so fast, the winds were moving so fast, it ripped itself apart and forming back up again. Still a major hurricane.
Oh, no doubt.
In fact, let's take a look at how this formed, because again, this was initially in the Gulf of Mexico, and watch how it quickly goes from a tropical storm, still tropical storm, then Category 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5. Immediately, within the span of just 50 or so miles, it goes to a Category 5 hurricane. Now, as you can see here, it's a Category 4, which is still very strong. Wind speeds around 165 miles per hour. So this is a very strong hurricane, and the path of this system is still expected to continue northward as we head into the Florida area by, I would say, late Wednesday, overnight into early Thursday morning. That's when I expect to make landfall as a major hurricane. I'll have the latest path on that coming up in a few minutes. Downtown Utica right now, a few clouds mixed in with some spotty lake effect rain showers. Now, most of our area is actually pretty dry, but we take a look at the radar right now. We've got the band of lake effect just over the county of Oswego, and spotty on and off rain is possible mixed in with these sunshine and cloudy skies. So again, mixed bag of weather today. We'll still see this pass off of Lake Ontario for the next few hours. So a little bit unsettled. Temperatures still struggling to reach the low 60s. And then, of course, on top of that, cool conditions tonight. Chances for, believe it or not, snow in some spots of the region, primarily in the highest elevations. We'll talk about that in that forecast straight ahead. Back to you, Steve.
Eric, thanks. As we shift into our colder weather season, the local assemblywoman today launched her annual campaign to help you help your neighbors in need stay warm this winter.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. It was a frosty start in higher elevations north of the valley early today, but things have warmed up only slightly. A live look at downtown Utica, a mix of sunshine and clouds, as well as a spotty lake effect shower. It's not nearly widespread, but it's enough to keep us on our toes with keeping that umbrella handy. Officially, it's cloudy at Griffiths and Rome, 53. Refreshing humidity. Feels much like a typical October day here in central New York. And as I mentioned, the radar is mainly dry over much of the Mohawk Valley, but again, we're cutting it close with those lake effect rain showers as they continue to try to push their way eastward into sections of the Mohawk Valley. So rainfall chances are not out of the question for today as we keep a close eye on that system. Temperatures across the area now into the 50s, in the 40s for some parts of the North Country, and to the south, same story. Temperatures in the 50s and some spots isolated in the 40s at times. The rainfall likely today in some spots of the region. Same thing for Wednesday. I think Wednesday is going to be the rainiest day of the next few. Thursday, lingering light lake effect drizzle as that westerly wind turns more northerly, and then we'll see dry weather in store for Friday. Now, with that northerly wind, I'll talk about a few things that could be happening as we head into the end of the work week. Frost, unlikely for the rest of today, into Wednesday, and into Thursday. Friday morning, potential not only for the North Country, but also for some spots in the lower elevations. The setup in the atmosphere favors that cooler temperatures, the cooler air in the atmosphere sinking down into near the surface, which is something we haven't really seen too much here locally. But before we get to that, the latest updates on Hurricane Milton. Wind speed 150 miles per hour, Category 4. It weakened, as I mentioned earlier, due to the eye wall replacement. That very, very fast-moving eye wall that was very small started to broaden a little bit. Now, this will still remain as a major hurricane as a Category 4 or 3 when it makes landfall on the west coast of Florida near Tampa, roughly during the late night hours of Wednesday, roughly around 2 a.m. Now, bigger picture, we got that trough moving through our area, bringing in a few spotty lake effect rain showers. Now, today, not nearly widespread, but a few spots of lake effect rain heading into tonight and early Wednesday morning. Wednesday, dry start, then more rain showers arriving by the afternoon. But keep a close eye on the locations north of the Mohawk Valley. Spotty rain shower possible early Thursday morning. And along with that, too, with the cooler temperatures in North Country around 30 or something degrees, they're going to be seeing some flurries or sleet. So our first snowfall of the season, albeit only a few flurries and isolated to the highest elevations north of the valley, are possible. And then heading into Thursday night and Friday night, that's when we could be seeing some clear skies and temperatures falling down into the 30s. So it's a sign of some changing seasons. Here we are with potentially a few flurries in the North Country and some frost later on in the week. So we'll enjoy the somewhat mild temperatures we've been having for the past few days.
I was going to say, weren't we in the 80s like 2 weeks ago? Did I imagine that? Or?
I mean, it's such a great September and early October, and now all of a sudden we're starting to see that Mother Nature's catching up on us.
Yeah, reality, that's for sure. All right, Eric, we'll check in with you again later in the program. Well, as millions in Florida prepare for Milton, the storm's rapid intensification is a direct result of climate change. NBC's national climate reporter Chase Kane has more from Orlando.
What we saw with Hurricane Milton on Monday, that extreme rapid intensification, is one of the hallmarks of climate change. And that's why people, even here in Orlando, more than 100 miles inland, are taking this threat seriously. They are filling up sandbags. Orange County says they've given out more than 100,000 sandbags so far. And that's because just a couple of years ago, when Hurricane Ian hit this area, it brought 15 inches of rain, triggering flash flooding across Orange County. Hundreds of people had to be evacuated from their homes. And of course, people are taking this seriously because when you look at what climate change amplified Milton to do, regular rapid intensification is 35 miles an hour in less than 24 hours. Extreme rapid intensification, this is a new term, that is 58 miles an hour of increase in less than 24 hours. And look at what Milton did. 92 mile an hour increase in wind speeds in less than 24 hours. And that has officials here in Orlando concerned if their city stormwater systems can keep up.
The problem is that these storms are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Our storm system can handle up to a foot of water or 3 inches in an hour. The problem is these storms are getting more and more and more intense. We never had storms where we had 6 inches of rain in less than an hour in a regular afternoon storm, which caused some localized flooding a couple of weeks ago. This is going to be a lot worse than that.
So that's going to be the thing to watch here in Central Florida, is how much rain Milton brings and also how strong it is when it makes landfall on the west coast of Florida, because Orange County officials are saying the National Hurricane Center told them to expect a minimum of Category 1 strength hurricane here in Orlando, could potentially be even stronger. So that's why everyone here is taking this threat seriously. In Orlando, I'm National Climate Reporter Chase Kane.
Coming up, FEMA dispelling some myths. Welcome back to News Channel 2 at noon. For this half hour, residents of Sarasota are preparing for the arrival of Hurricane Milton today. The problem is the cleanup is still unfinished from Helene. Here's Eric Von Anken with more.
The 2 weeks since Hurricane Helene slammed the Suncoast have been almost enough time to come up with a cleanup plan and get started.
You know, I'm over the emotional part, so I'm numb, basically numb now.
This house is on St. Armand's Key, which is just a few blocks over from the world-famous St. Armand's Circle here in Sarasota. On one side is the Gulf of Mexico, on the other side is the Sarasota Bay. The storm surge rushed into this house as high as right around here, about 3 feet up, so you can see they're taking everything out, down to the studs, even the flooring. The bigger problem is where all of this goes. So many front yards and sidewalks on the barrier islands here in Sarasota, Manatee, and Pinellas counties are junkyards. What was inside these houses is now outside, and Florida's governor is pushing for what he calls an expedited cleanup effort so all of this debris doesn't end up in the air.
It was in this. That's full of water right there.
Or in the water. But there's just so much of it. And only so many trucks. And only so many hands. I'm seeing the storm surge came up to here. I mean, that is, yeah, that's what, 3-4 feet?
Yeah.
Judy Heath will not find out what happens to her house or her debris pile. She's taking what's important and what survived.
That was at my grandson's wedding.
Like these precious wedding pictures and leaving again.
Those people just stopped by and they said, you know, we'll take it away for, of course, for a fee, but then everybody else has got theirs out here, you know. City was going to take it, but they can't now with this storm coming.
I'm Eric Von Anken in Sarasota, Florida.
Among the many people bracing for the storm, those in health care. Hospitals are not immune to hurricane damage. Hundreds of ambulances have been working around the clock trying to get people evacuated from hospitals ahead of the storm.
ALFs and nursing homes have certainly heeded the warnings that have been put out, and we are in the middle of there's 500 to 600 ambulances that are in active evacuation right now of medical facilities in the greater Tampa Bay region. We have requested even more rescue and ambulance units from FEMA. They have them staged in the southeast United States, probably in the Atlanta.
Probably in Atlanta, Georgia is what he was saying. Shelves are bare at many stores in western Florida as residents prepared to hunker down or get out of town. Take a look at the first look at our forecast right now in this half hour, and let's stick closer to home. We talked about the track of Hurricane Milton, and it's a full Category 4 now, but still very, very dangerous. But back here at home, a frosty start this morning. So
yes,
here we are.
Yeah, some spots we went to frost. Up in Old Forge, temperature 29 to start this morning. It was definitely a wake-up call, a changing season. In fact, you can see the daily highs behind us. Nowhere near 70s and 80s like we've seen in most of September and early October. Yes, we're back to plenty of 60s and 50s for the next few days. Of course, looks like Saturday is enjoying it, being put on here twice, but you can see here regardless, it is a cool stretch of weather ahead. Now, downtown Utica right now, a mix of sun and clouds and some drizzly rain showers. And as you can see here, most locations in central New York are starting out in the 50s, but still a few spotty lake effect rain showers out in western New York, just north of Syracuse, trying to push their way eastward. They keep falling apart when they approach parts of the Mohawk Valley, but again, some of these showers are possible to reach us over the next, I would say, 6 to 12 hours. So spotty shower, hit or miss over the next few hours. Temperatures falling from the 50s down into the 40s overnight. We're talking about that cool stretch continuing, potential for frost in the future as well as potential for a few mountaintop flurries. Details on that in the minutes ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Israel began a second year of war today by expanding its ground invasion of
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, Central New York. We are continuing to track breezy and cooler conditions across the region here this afternoon. Taking a live look at downtown Utica right now. A few areas of blue skies mixed in with some dense cloud cover, as well as a spotty shower. So Mother Nature can't quite make up her mind today. Cloudy at Griffiths and Rome, refreshing humidity. Dew point sitting at 45 degrees. Now, most of the Mohawk Valleys, Southern Valleys, and North Country are dry. However, we're still keeping an eye on some showers developing off of Lake Ontario. Lake effect rain moving in at times. So, again, on and off rain possible in some spots today. It was a frosty start in the North Country. Temperatures have climbed into the low 50s, upper 50s in the Mohawk Valley, 60 officially in Little Falls and to the south. Temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 50s. Now, rainfall is pretty likely today in some spots downwind of Lake Ontario. Wednesday, a bit higher of a chance for rain. Now, still some lingering light drizzle for Thursday. The rainfall chances begin to taper off as that north wind begins to arrive, and that will set the stage for potentially a pretty frosty start for Friday, barring any cloud cover. And so, with the frost chances, again, almost non-existent for today and for Thursday. But as we head into Friday, that's when those frost chances begin to pick up. But quickly back to Milton, which is still right now a Category 4. It decreased from Category 5 status last night as the eye wall is undergoing replacement right now. Basically, the storm was so fast it fell apart and reorganized into a Category 4, but it's still likely to be a Category 3 or 4 on landfall as it approaches the Tampa Bay area in Florida, roughly during the overnight hours of Wednesday and into early Thursday morning. So again, this is going to be a pretty serious situation for central Florida, at least during the daytime hours on Wednesday. And so, bigger picture, we've got rain showers moving over parts of our region early today, and we'll still see these showers sporadic at times move through the region heading into as late as Wednesday into Thursday. Notice clouds and maybe a light sprinkle here and there as the rain does gradually taper off. But zooming in on our Skycast, we've got rainfall chances here and there for today into Wednesday. But keep a close eye on the North Country heading into Wednesday night. Watch how these temperatures begin to fall down into the 30s. And with some rain showers here and there, there could be a few flurries mixing in with the highest elevation. So we're entering that season where we get that atmospheric setup. Flurries are possible in the highest elevations. Of course, we're not expecting any flurries here in the Mohawk Valley. That'll be a tale for a different time. The next few days, temperatures in the 50s, overnight lows in the 40s. We're keeping an eye on Thursday night into Friday. That's our next potential for frost. This one, depending on cloud cover, could be pretty widespread into the Mohawk Valley. We'll keep a close eye on that. But following that, we're back into the 60s on Friday with warmer temperatures. Saturday looking pretty nice as well. So cooler temperatures await us, but so far the first half of the weekend, not too bad.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, a Washington State woman had to call for help earlier this month after...
With Kristen Copeland and Jason Palace.
It may not just be speed, but size that makes Hurricane Milton so catastrophically dangerous.
Milton, currently a Category 4 storm, is expected to slow slightly before making landfall in Florida late tomorrow, and it's likely to double in size. From boarding up windows to loading up sandbags, preparations are underway for Hurricane Milton, a high-powered storm barreling toward the Sunshine State. Evacuation orders are in effect in parts of the state. Central New Yorkers are poised and ready to help Florida recover. Operations specialists from National Grid, including a team from Rome, are stationed in Florida awaiting Milton's arrival. Around 160 National Grid upstate employees since late September have been supporting post-Helene restoration efforts in West Virginia, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, and now Florida.
New York preparing to help Florida as Hurricane Milton approaches, and it's still helping with Hurricane Helene relief. More than 200 New Yorkers from 7 state agencies, plus the National Guard, is down south. So far, the National Guard has moved 89 tons of food, water, and rescue equipment. And the incident management team has distributed 478,000 bottles of water, 28,000 gallons of bulk water, and 20,000 meals.
Check out this video of what Milton looks like from space. Astronaut Matthew Dominic took it from the window of the Dragon Endeavour, which is docked at the International Space Station. Those tracking Milton predict the eye wall to come ashore anywhere from Cedar Key to Naples, possibly Fort Myers or Tampa. Lee Waldman reports from Tampa, where most residents appear to be listening to the dire warnings.
If you choose to stay, you're staying at your own risk.
That's a huge risk, with monstrous Hurricane Milton on track to deliver a storm surge, more than double what Helene wrought on Florida's Gulf Coast less than 2 weeks ago. Tampa, Florida is a possible landfall site. That city's mayor even more blunt regarding the danger.
If you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
This Tampa resident is one of thousands heeding that advice. He's bugging out of Tampa with his wife on their 46th wedding anniversary.
What God will give us, we will accept it and always go to the safe place you can go. We'll see.
Also critical, clearing out debris left behind by Helene.
All hands on deck trying to help out the city as much as we can before the big storm comes.
This moving company is one of many being commissioned by local officials to work the coastal areas around the clock.
We hauled close to 100 tons of debris just yesterday alone.
But soon these crews will have to stop helping others and save themselves.
This storm's going to be different. If you're in an evacuation zone, please get out.
And if there's any doubt, veteran Florida meteorologist John Morales may offer some clarity.
It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours. I apologize. This is just horrific.
In Tampa, Florida, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Let's get you over to the Weather Center, where Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis is also tracking Milton.
Yeah, I got the latest update for the National Hurricane Center. Unfortunately, this has now been pushed back to a 5. It has strengthened, which is not good. It is still expected to weaken before making landfall, but again, the newest update from the National Hurricane Center, winds have now increased to 165 miles an hour. Earlier, this was 155 miles an hour. And the track of this is still going to be just south of Tampa, or very close to Tampa. And also the timetable is a little bit delayed here. Looks like this is going to arrive Wednesday night, probably shortly after midnight. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Some scattered lake effect rain showers continue to move across central New York. It's been a chilly day. We've got a couple of chilly days like this in our future. It's mostly cloudy at Griffiths and Rome, 54 degrees. We are tracking more showers tonight, more tomorrow, even some frost chances as we look ahead, especially Thursday night. And again, I've also got the latest update on Hurricane Milton, the latest track from the National Hurricane Center. Passing showers this evening, temperatures in the 50s. Again, a couple of chilly days ahead. A look at the forecasts coming out. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. A Utica man was sentenced to 15 years in state prison for shooting someone.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A much cooler day today, tracking some lake effect rain showers too. Let's take a live look in downtown Utica. A temperature of 55 degrees. We've got sunshine, and things are changing quite a bit. We're expecting to see more showers here as we head into the course of this evening. It's been one of those days where the weather changes rapidly. You can get some showers, and then the sun is out, and the showers return. Look for more of the same tomorrow. In fact, we'll probably have more showers tomorrow compared to today. This is all being driven by cool air over Lake Ontario. Yes, we're talking about lake effect rain showers. That's a thing. It's not just lake effect snow that the lake generates. We get lake effect rain. It happens every fall, and we'll be seeing more of it here over the next couple of days, again, with cooler temperatures aloft. And because it's been such a warm summer, I have a feeling we're going to be dealing with this a lot more heading into the next couple of weeks. Did you get a chance to see the Northern Lights? We had an opportunity last night. They showed up in our area. This picture from Maureen Cunningham Snyder in Norway. The show took place around 10:30, and then it really ramped up around 1 o'clock in the morning. And again, a lot of folks getting pictures of this. If you missed it, you can check it out on social media as well as our website. We think that there will be more opportunities in the future. Right now, I don't see anything very clear, but when we do get more opportunities, we'll let you know. Temperatures across the area in the 50s. Westmoreland, 57 degrees. Dolgeville, 53. Little Falls, 54. Across Southern Valley, Sherburne, 55. Cooperstown, 54. Oneonta, 55 degrees. Again, lake effect rain showers continue across central New York. An upper level area of low pressure is driving our weather. We'll be seeing more showers tomorrow, and then eventually this will move out as warmer weather moves back in. We, of course, are also tracking Hurricane Milton. Again, it became a Category 5 storm again. It weakened last night. It has re-strengthened this evening. Winds are now sustained at 165 miles an hour. Hurricanes do this. They are known to change in intensity over time. We're really hoping that this one starts to weaken as it heads towards the Florida coast. Looking at some of the ingredients of the atmosphere, that should be the case, but again, this is going to be a big deal. The timetable for landfall has been pushed back to Wednesday night. Looks like shortly after midnight, 2 a.m. Thursday is the projection of when this is making landfall from the National Hurricane Center. This is going to stay out to sea. This is not going to be our problem. Neither the areas that got hit with Helene in terms of the Appalachian Mountains, too. So this does stay to the south. Again, it is going to be a big deal for the residents of Florida. Our local weather, looking chilly tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the 40s, scattered lake effect rain showers. Lake effect rain showers tomorrow. Temperatures will be chilly with highs only in the low 50s. With those rain showers around, it will knock us into the 40s from time to time. So definitely a day to grab the jacket. Tomorrow night, scattered lake effect rain showers. A few of these may briefly switch over to snow showers in the higher elevations. We are not expecting accumulation. Thursday morning, it is chilly. Temperatures start out in the upper 30s to low 40s. Clouds eventually give way to some breaks of sunshine Thursday with high temperatures in the low 50s. A passing shower tonight, low temperature 42. Scattered lake effect rain showers tomorrow, high temperatures in the low 50s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Thursday, mostly cloudy, 52. Friday, sunshine, beautiful. Should be a really nice start to the weekend. Saturday, sunshine, 65, into the 50s again. Sunday, some chilly weather moving ahead. We've been spoiled with all this warm weather. This is more typical of this time of the year.
More typical, but still coming off of those warmer temperatures. Shocking.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. You went hiking yesterday, right?
I like
Great colors.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Bill, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, temperatures are predicted to drop this week.
We are tracking that Hurricane Milton. We're talking about categories of hurricanes. They go from 1 to 5. Here's an example of how each category does damage. Category 1 hurricane is winds between 75 to 95 miles an hour. Damage is relatively minimal. But again, it's still 75-mile-an-hour winds. And as we work up to a Category 2, the damage becomes larger. It's a Category 3 storm where we separate hurricanes into major hurricanes. Milton went from a 1 to a 5 in about a day and a half. Category 4 winds up to 156 miles an hour. And right now, Milton is a 5, 165-mile-an-hour winds. We're hoping that it starts to weaken before it hits the coast. But again, time will tell. It's very common for hurricanes to change in intensity in a short period of time. And again, we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Heading out this evening, the weather looks okay. We do have a few scattered showers out there, but if you can sneak out between those showers, the weather should be pretty good for a dog walk. Tonight's featured dog, Gabby from Utica. This is brought to you by Nye Automotive Group. We are tracking some chilly weather. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. 2 major hurricanes in the same region in a short time span put the spotlight on the insurance industry.
Experts say the most crucial time for homeowners to review their coverage is before a disaster strikes. Karen Kafa reports.
Parts of the southeastern United States haven't recovered from Hurricane Helene, and now here comes Milton.
This could be the worst storm to hit Florida in over a century.
It's a reminder to regularly review home, renters, and auto insurance policies and note what may have changed.
Not just mold, not just water, but deductibles. There's even hail limits. So at least give yourself a fighting chance by knowing where those gaps are.
The insurance industry has been hit in recent years by more frequent disasters and inflation. That's led to a jump in homeowners insurance rates, 11.3% last year, according to S&P Global. And Amy Bach, executive director of United Policyholders, says insurance companies are using more defined technology to assess risk.
Aerial images, data mining, predictive models. And all that technology means that they have been fine-tuning the wording in their policies.
Bach says when disaster does strike, document as much damage as is safe to do so and keep a daily journal of recovery steps.
Who you talk to, what their phone number is, what their email is, what, just notes to kind of keep yourself on track.
Home buyers can also keep natural disasters in mind before signing the dotted line. A new tool from the home shopping website Zillow shows how vulnerable properties for sale might be to extreme climate events with data on flooding, wildfires, wind, heat, and air quality. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
As natural disasters intensify across the country, potential buyers are assessing a home's climate risk.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking much cooler weather here over the next couple of days. Let's take a live look in Oneonta. Temperature of 54 degrees, sunshine, clearing skies. It's been one of those days where we've seen a lot of changes in the weather, and that's because we have lake effect rain showers. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. And here's how things are moving in from the west. And in fact, we go to the northwest, we can see the next batch of showers starting to roll in. In fact, there's some lightning strikes with some of these too. This is over Lake Ontario, but there's also a few lightning strikes in the Adirondacks. This is north of Long Lake. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could see a rumble of thunder or two with this, and that is very unusual to see that with lake effect rain, but we do occasionally get that. So as we head into this evening, this is primarily going to produce some scattered showers, and it will weaken as we head towards sunset. A lot of the extra energy in the atmosphere will start to cause these showers to weaken. Another round of lake effect rain is expected to develop as we head into tomorrow. Sky Watchers checking in. A chilly day. Wow, the seasons are changing. It seems like all at once, and it's because we've had such a great stretch of weather. We've had a lot of warm days in September and early October in the 70s. Now we're into the 50s, and this is the direction that we're going. Whitesboro, 53 degrees. Clinton, 52. Lyman and Eaton, 57. Curtis, 51. Mohawk, Jeff with 52. And Erica Inlet, 47 degrees. Across Southern Valleys, Mark Milford, 54. Skinnevis, 63, Paynes Hollow, 52. Again, scattered lake effect rain showers will continue as a pool of cold air works in from the north. And this is going to continue to drive our weather for about the next 24 hours. Eventually, the cold air will lift to the east, and then we'll see improving conditions. We'll see a return to sunshine later this week. Hurricane Milton, again, a major hurricane, still has redeveloped into a Category 5 storm. Current winds at 165 miles an hour. The track from the National Hurricane Center brings this to making landfall very close to Tampa, maybe just south. It seems that the newest update brings it just south of Tampa. But again, it's such a large storm, it's going to have huge impacts on the state. This is expected to stay south of our area. We will not be dealing with any impacts from Milton here as it continues to move out to sea later in the week. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, scattered lake effect rain showers this evening. Overnight lows drop down into the low 40s. Chilly tomorrow. We'll see some breaks of sunshine early, but the lake effect rain is going to be part of, be around for most of the day, especially in the Mohawk Valley. Temperatures will be only in the low 50s. Tonight, passing shower, 42 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, again, scattered showers, chilly temperatures in the low 50s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast, mostly cloudy Thursday, 52. Sunshine Friday and Saturday, a couple of nice days ahead before another round of chilly weather arrives early next week. We'll be right back.
Bill Curtis.
So an update to pass along from the National Hurricane Center. Hurricane Milton is now back up to a Category 5 storm. This was weakened earlier today, and it was a 4, but now the winds are up to 165 miles an hour. The track is taking it towards Tampa, or maybe just south of Tampa. It is expected to weaken before it makes landfall, but again, this all signs point to just a major impact here along the Florida coast. A live look at the Yorkville Battery and Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radars. Some scattered showers continue across central New York. We've been dealing with lake effect rain, and we will see more of it as we head into tonight as well as tomorrow. It is a chilly day. 50 degrees is the current temperature. Partly cloudy skies at Griffiths and Rome. It is going to be chilly tonight. With cloud cover, we'll be prevented from seeing a frost for most areas. But again, it is going to be chilly here over the next couple of days. More lake effect rain. Looking ahead, we're going to be tracking some nicer weather heading towards the weekend. And I also have a look at the latest track of Hurricane Milton. This evening, temperatures in the 50s, a passing shower, some chilly weather over the next couple of days. A look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. People, hospital patients, even zoo.
Download the Storm Tracker 2 app. Free to install. Use the icons on the bottom to navigate between tabs. Get instant weather updates and alerts right on your phone. Storm Tracker 2, where we track storms.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Much cooler day today. Temperatures in the 50s. This is a live look in downtown Utica. Very changeable weather today. We've seen clear skies, sunshine, and it wasn't too bad, but then the clouds and the lake effect rain came and it got pretty chilly. We've got more lake effect rain on the way. By the way, lake effect rain, same process as lake effect snow. You need to have chilly weather and a very warm lake, and the process begins. Cool air moving over the warm water produces precipitation, and it's not only snow. We get a lot of lake effect rain, especially this time of the year. We see more of this to the north and west, even some lightning strikes showing up on the leading edge of this. This is going to continue as we head into this evening as well as tonight. We'll see more lake effect rain showers tomorrow. Were you lucky enough to capture the northern lights last night? Several folks did. This picture came in from Norway from Maureen Cunningham Snyder. A lot of folks were able to capture this. This was around, this happened twice, around 10:30, and then there was a brighter display right around 1 o'clock in the morning. If we do get any additional chances to see this, we're in a very active solar pattern. We'll pass it along as soon as we can. Sky watchers checking in the 50s. Again, a chilly day. Whitesboro, 53 degrees. Ilion, 55. And Hartwick, Deb checking in with 52. Scattered lake effect rain showers will continue through tomorrow as cool air stays in central New York. This will eventually move to the east and our weather will improve. Hurricane Milton, it's a monster. Category 5 storm, re-intensifying over the past 12 hours. The track of this brings this very close to Tampa. It is still expected to weaken as it encounters some wind shear, but again, it's still making landfall as a major hurricane. This will stay entirely south of central New York. It's going to move out to sea, and it will not be a concern for us, but again, a very different story. Lots of folks in Florida keeping a very close eye on this tonight. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight, scattered lake effect rain showers, chilly overnight lows in the low 40s. Tomorrow morning, we see some breaks of sunshine early in the day, but more lake effect rain is expected, especially in the Mohawk Valley, where the wind direction favors some rain showers. Temperatures only be near 50 degrees. Showers continue tomorrow night. Could end as a few snow showers in higher elevations. No accumulation expected. And then a chilly Thursday, but the weather will start to improve as we start to dry out. Passing shower tonight. 42 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, scattered showers, a high of only 52. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Mostly cloudy Thursday, 52. Some frost expected Thursday night. Friday, Saturday, sunshine. Temperatures in the 60s. Showers return Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
You're going to kill more of my mums.
Well, it's not me.
It's like
you mum killer.
One pot at a time. I'm losing them.
Bring them in.
Bring them in. All right, thanks, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. The Utica Comet's set to drop the puck on the radio.
The news with Jason Pallas.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. With Major Hurricane Milton approaching the west coast of Florida, many residents and tourists aren't taking chances at all and have evacuated before the storm makes landfall. Officials say those that stayed behind face damaging winds, flooding rains, and life-threatening storm surge beginning tomorrow night. NBC's Dana Griffin has the latest from Naples in our top story tonight.
Here on Naples Beach, you can still see people are in the water at this hour ahead of Milton, taking advantage of these waves that are usually not this high on the west side of the peninsula. We've spoken to many of them. Many say they are not evacuating because they are not in the evacuation zone. Many neighborhoods and many homes along the coast have been told to leave starting at 6 a.m. this morning. And the mayor says that while some have left, she's hoping that more will leave because this is a life-threatening storm. Just because we are south of the impact zone of where that direct landfall will likely occur, there is a concern about storm surge. Here in Naples, we could receive 6 to 10 feet of storm surge flooding, which is life-threatening, and the only way to survive storm surge is to not be here when it hits. I'm Dana Griffin, NBC News.
Central New Yorkers are poised to help Florida recover from what's expected to be this catastrophic storm. Operations specialists from National Grid, including a team from Rome, are stationed in Florida awaiting Milton's arrival. Around 160 National Grid employees, upstate employees, since late September have been supporting post-Helene restoration efforts in West Virginia, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, and Florida. As they wrap up restoration work, they now shift focus to Florida to support energy preservation and restoration in that state. Time now for our first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. And what we're focusing on is the track of Milton right now. What's the latest information?
It's a big storm. The track is still heading very close to Tampa, probably just south of Tampa. This storm is continuing to strengthen. 165 mile-an-hour winds, but this number is important. The pressure is down to 902. That's the second lowest pressure ever recorded in the Gulf of Mexico from any hurricane. This ties with Hurricane Katrina.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's a strong 5 right now, right?
It's a strong 5, but again, it's a big one. The pressure kind of symbolizes the size of the storm, the wind speed, the strength. So again, this is a big one. We'll continue to keep an eye on this. We're really hoping that it weakens. We see some ingredients in the Gulf of Mexico that suggest that this storm will start to weaken before it makes landfall. But even then, it's a big storm, and it's going to have a big impact here. Landfall time looks to be tomorrow night, probably after midnight, around like 1 to 2 a.m. Thursday. Live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Scattered lake effect rain showers continue in our local area. It is a cool night. 48 degrees is the current temperature, and it's going to be pretty chilly tonight. You might want to consider turning on the heat by tomorrow morning, or at least close the windows. Again, temperatures will fall into the 40s here. We're tracking some cooler weather locally over the next couple of days. A look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New York is preparing to help Florida as Hurricane Milton approaches, and it's still helping with Hurricane Helene recovery. More than 200 New Yorkers from 7 state agencies, plus the National Guard, is down south. So far, the National Guard has moved 89 tons of food, water, and rescue equipment. The incident management team has distributed 478,000 bottles of water, 28,000 gallons of bulk water, and 20,000 meals. Staying on the story, a Yorkville police officer whose gun license is currently suspended.
You need to know. Will they need a jacket, an umbrella? What should your kids wear to school tomorrow? Get the bus stop forecast only from Storm Tracker 2. Brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We are taking a live look in downtown Utica. Scattered showers are continuing across central New York. The next round is moving in. This is lake effect rain. It's the same process as lake effect snow when we have colder air moving over warmer water and it produces precipitation. It's not just lake effect snow. You can get lake effect rain, and we are dealing with that tonight. We have a few showers that are also producing some downpours and even some lightning strikes. This lightning bolt detected by our network here just outside of Oswego, and again, some rumbles of thunder near the lakeshore. I don't think that's going to be the case locally tonight, But again, can't rule it out. I could see a rumble of thunder tonight, or a flash of lightning, or hear a rumble of thunder here as this rolls through. Did you catch the northern lights last night? A lot of people did. This picture from Sarah Thomas in Middleville. Some great color here. We're hoping to get more of these in the future. We'll let you know when we have opportunities ahead. So you look at the radar and satellite image. Again, cooler air in place, producing more lake effect rain showers tonight as well as tomorrow. Then the wind direction will eventually change. All eyes continue to be along Hurricane Milton, which is a Category 5 storm. The track for the National Hurricane Center brings this just south of Tampa, the landfall tomorrow night, and then it moves across the state and it moving out to sea. This is not expected to affect our local weather, but again, it is going to be a very big deal for the state of Florida. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, the chance of a few rain showers. Overnight lows drop into the low 40s. Tomorrow, it looks like a chilly day. Mostly cloudy skies, an occasional rain shower or two, especially in the Mohawk Valley. Temperatures only near 50 for the high. Tomorrow night, clouds linger. A few rain showers could briefly switch over to snow showers in the higher terrain. Not expecting that to accumulate. Temperatures will be chilly to start Thursday. Cloudy skies throughout Thursday afternoon. Temperatures in the low 50s. And then the weather starts to warm up. Passing shower tonight, 42 for the low. Tomorrow, scattered showers, high temperatures in the low 50s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Thursday, mostly cloudy, 52. Friday, Saturday, the weather looks a lot nicer, warming up just in time for the weekend. But we do have some rain in store for Sunday, along with cooler temperatures Monday and Tuesday.
Saturday, the best of that 7-day. Get out and enjoy.
Yes.
Leaf peeping around this area still pretty good for that time of day? Because like Gold Forge was peak last week, right?
We're going to be close to peak by the weekend. I don't know if we'll be quite there. We'll probably be about 75% turned over. It'll still be nice, though.
Plenty of time to go out for a drive, right?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Bill. Coming up next, TikTok being sued.
News with Jason Palace.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. The major Hurricane Milton approaching the west coast of Florida. Many residents and tourists aren't taking any chances and have evacuated before the storm makes landfall. Officials say those that stayed behind face damaging winds, flooding rains, and life-threatening storm surge beginning tomorrow night. Reporter Dana Griffin has the latest in our top story tonight.
Here on Naples Beach, you can still see people are in the water at this hour ahead of Milton, taking advantage of these waves that are usually not this high on the west side of the peninsula. We've spoken to many of them. Many say they are not evacuating because they are not in the evacuation zone. Many neighborhoods and many homes along the coast have been told to leave starting at 6 a.m. this morning. And the mayor says that while some have left, she's hoping that more will leave because this is a life-threatening storm. Just because we are south of the impact zone of where that direct landfall will likely occur, there is a concern about storm surge. Here in Naples, we could receive 6 to 10 feet of storm surge flooding, which is life-threatening, and the only way to survive storm surge is to not be here when it hits. I'm Dana Griffin, NBC News.
Central New Yorkers are poised and ready to help Florida recover from what's expected to be a catastrophic storm. Operations specialists from National Grid, including a team from Rome, are stationed in Florida waiting for Milton's arrival. Around 160 National Grid upstate employees since late September have been supporting post-Helene restoration efforts in West Virginia, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, and Florida. And as they wrap up restoration work there, they shift their focus to Florida to support energy preservation and restoration in that state. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis right now, tracking Milton. Still a very strong 5, right?
Yes, the 11 o'clock update, a little bit better, a little bit weaker. The pressure's gone up. The wind speeds have gone down, not a lot, but just enough. The winds at 8 o'clock were 165 down to 160. This is expected. Hurricanes, they change very rapidly.
Sure.
As this approaches Florida, it's going to be encountering some wind shear. We're hoping that this weakens a little bit more, but it's still going to be a major landfall, regardless of how these small changes take place. It's a large storm, and it still has a lot going for it in terms of maintaining its strength, so it's going to be a big deal. We'll have the latest track on Hurricane Milton coming up in just a bit. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We're tracking a couple of showers out there. The weather is going to remain chilly locally. Looking at overnight lows in the 40s. And a chilly night ahead. Another chilly day tomorrow, but the weather does warm up a little bit as we head towards the end of the week. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Staying on the story, a Yorkville police officer whose gun license is currently suspended has requested.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look at downtown Utica. It's a chilly night, 47 degrees, clouds, showers. Welcome to fall. You're going to get a lot more days like this ahead. It's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. This is lake effect rain. It's when colder air moves over the warmer waters of the Great Lakes and it produces precipitation. We see a lot of lake effect snow in the winter. We get lake effect rain on the fringes of the season, usually this time of the year. Is when we start to see lake effect rain. It happens every year. It's not new. It's not something that's super uncommon. We're dealing with that tonight. In fact, even a couple of lightning strikes along the shore of Lake Ontario. We haven't seen the lightning move this far east, but we are keeping an eye on it. This shower over Rome, we'll be seeing more of these as we head into tomorrow. Northern Lights came out last night. This picture from Sarah Thomas in Middleville. The colors were really nice. There was one showing around 10:30, another one around 1 o'clock in the morning. If we get any more opportunities in the future, we'll pass this along. These lights were supposed to be around earlier. We thought this would be Thursday or Friday, ended up being a few days later. And that is unfortunately sometimes how it works with trying to predict space and solar activity. So we look at the radar and satellite image. We're tracking showers that will continue into tomorrow. Again, with cooler air working in, we'll deal with more lake effect rain showers tomorrow afternoon. And of course, we're keeping an eye on Hurricane Milton. The track from the National Hurricane Center continues to move just to the east, making landfall just south of Tampa. There's been a noticeable slight track to the south with some of the newest updates here. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Again, still expected to make landfall tomorrow night, shortly after midnight. This stays to the south. This does not affect our local weather. Tonight, scattered lake effect rain showers, overnight lows in the low 40s. We'll see some breaks of sunshine early tomorrow, but the clouds and the showers are going to be lingering around, especially in the Mohawk Valley with a favorable wind direction. And just a chilly day, temperatures only in the low 50s. Tomorrow night, rain showers continue. A few of these briefly turn over to snow showers in the higher terrain. No accumulation is expected. We start out Thursday morning chilly with high temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. Clouds Thursday eventually gives way to clearing skies Thursday night and widespread frost in the forecast here heading into Friday morning. Passing shower tonight, low temperatures in the low 40s. He jumped the gun.
I did? He did?
Ed did.
Ed.
There we go. There's the 7-day.
Play it again.
Anyway, there. Having a little bit of fun here tonight. Temperatures in the low 50s Thursday, sunshine Friday and Saturday. It's going to get a lot nicer once we get through tomorrow.
Marquee day of the weekend. Go out and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, sir. Coming up next, TikTok being sued.